I am. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Hell yeah, son. Today is the day. Shit is happening on these streets. Shadow is back. Shadow is back. Wait, I'm used to the camera being over here. Shadow is back. All right. We're doing this. We're starting off big with the Shadow the Hedgehog trailer because I feel like it was very relevant. But there's so much stuff happening in the Sonic universe that I'm not caught up with. So I figure, why not stream it? I want to go through this trailer that just dropped today for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, piece by piece. I've already seen it. You can't get a fresh reaction out of me. There's not going to be any screaming and carrying on. I'm so sorry. I can't do it. I can't fake it for you guys. I can't even say, hey guys, I've never touched this trailer before. Trust me. I'm not doing it for the content. I gotta be honest. I've seen it. Full disclosure. But I want to pick through this because as a Sonic connoisseur, I want to make sure we catch every Easter egg that's in there. There's not a lot of them. But I want to like give my speculation on where I think they're taking this plot, because it's safe to say that the Sonic cinematic universe is very different from the game universe. There's some things I do like. There are things that I don't like. So I figure I want to talk about that. So welcome to the stream, people. I am the Mentalk, the Prophet, YouTube savior. Welcome, Phoenix Gundam, Autistic and Proud, Sonic Overlord, DJ Sauls, Gunpla Skate. Gunpla, thanks for the idea. I wasn't going to stream initially because I thought I was late to the party. Your boy is a working man. So I had to go to work in the morning like a normal person. I couldn't stream it. I'm just kidding. I'm not knocking the normal streamers. It's just like I can't compete. All right. The trailer dropped at 9 and these people are having like pre-gaming parties for the trailer at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I can't do that, son. I needed my rest. I did catch it earlier today, but let's go through these. There's a couple like things. I'll start with the trailer. Like, let's just jump into the trailer. I do have a few things like Sonic Shadow Generations trailers that were going on, as well as the Dark Beginnings teaser, which is like an anime prologue, or that looks really good, to be honest. So I want to actually go through all of this Shadow stuff and just collect everything that we have for the year of Shadow. But let's start off right with the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer. I'm going to be doing the annoying thing by like stopping it as much as possible to give my thoughts. If this is not what you want to hear, I am so sorry. I'm geared up for this moment. I have my Supersonic King Ice. Do you guys remember how long it took me to get this? So I am going to sit here and go through everything bit by bit, Game Explain style. We're going to do this. Eric, what's going on? Good to see you again. I wonder, will Rouge be in the movie? And will she team up with the sassy black lady from Sonic 2? It'll be perfect. If Amy or Rouge is in this movie, they're doing a very, very good job hiding it. I will give them that. It is probably one of the biggest surprises, except for maybe an end credit scene, if those two are in the movie. So, excuse me. I'm going to go through this now. You're going to talk about best hedgehog, right? Am I going to talk about Sonic? Sonic is definitely the best hedgehog. You can fight me on that one. Rick, welcome to the stream. George Robotnik is a hologram in the end of the trailer. Amy better be in the movie. I see people want Amy. I love how Jim Carrey is now built like Eggman here. Chow confirmed, feels great. So I see positive responses overall to this trailer. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm trying to do more short and sweet streams. I know that I have a tendency to get distracted and stall a lot. That's not purposeful. I just have so many things I got to talk about and get off my chest sometimes. I have a new camera. I don't know if you guys noticed. It's lopsided, but it's brand new camera. I have higher quality footage now, but now I have to look all the way up here to maintain eye contact. All right, anyway, welcome to the stream. Let's get started. Let's do this. Trailer looks great, but where are all the girl characters? Yeah, so I have my thoughts on that. So let's just get through this first, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Sonic, you finally found your family.
Try to keep up.
So I'm already stopping, but first thing, Sonic's running through a forest, so I'm pretty sure this is Green Hill still. I like the little loop-de-loop. Actually, this is probably like through the log. Logs have been here as far like as early as Sonic the Hedgehog 2, like the Sega Genesis game. There's like a aquatic ruin zone that has a log. I'm not saying that's a reference to this, but it's like that plus a loop-de-loop, so it could be, you know, you never know what these directors are thinking. Jeff Fowler is my dog. He knows his stuff. Trust me.
You finally found your family.
Try to keep up.
Now, I see Knuckles sporting his firepower. Now, if you guys did not watch the Knuckles series, I don't blame you if you didn't because it wasn't for everybody. But I did watch the miniseries. It's like a mini movie. I think, like, to be honest, if you tailor your expectations knowing that you're not going in for any heavy lore, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great either. But this is a power that's unlocked. It's called the Flames of Disaster, which is a reference to Sonic 06. For some reason, he has this power and he unlocks it during that series. I'm not going to explain anything else. There's not a lot of context to it, but if you want to go watch that series, go watch it. But they're bringing that new power into this movie, which I think is a cool little addition. I think we're going to get a lot more Knuckles, though we need some Tails action like ASAP. Let's see. Haha, Knuckles launched from London because it's Idris. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, so let's keep it moving.
I know it hasn't always been easy, but you didn't change.
For some reason, I thought this was a child. Okay, so this is what Sonic drew. It's him and Longclaw and Green Hill, or the other Green Hill, like the actual Green Hill. So there's that.
But you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
In my lungs. Okay, so we get a shot of Prison Island there. If you guys need context for Sonic Adventure 2, this is the location where, is this where he busted out Shadow? I have to remember now. Oh, yes. Okay, so Eggman busts into Prison Island first to go find Shadow in here, but it looks like Shadow is busting himself out instead of Eggman doing it this time, which is a huge change in the plot for Sonic Adventure 2. I'm going to be talking about little plot changes between the movie and the game, whether I like them or not. This, I'm neutral on. By the way, I have my little Sonic Symphony baton, by the way. I went to this one in New York. Freaking amazing. Anyway, so we have a Prison Island here. I guess Robotnik's not gonna go in there to bust out Shadow, which is a difference in plot. I'm neutral on this, but let's keep going.
There's been a high-level security breach.
Now, if you see here, interestingly enough, there's a donut box, which I might be reading too much into this, but I think that Tom, aka Donut Lord, might be an employee of Gun at some point, so they might hire him as, like, seeing that he met with that Gun chief initially in the Sonic movie, in Sonic 2, they probably will recruit him, and then they deploy the Team Sonic on these missions when necessary if extraterrestrial activity or Robotnik like starts popping up. So I think for this, what's happening is either this is just a box here, or this could be Tom while this goes down. We have yet to know, but I think Tom has definitely been promoted as a gun soldier. Quote me on that one. I know this. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure. Adventure 2 had plot holes. You can drive semi-trucks through. For example, Gun seriously cares more about keeping Shadow's secret than catching Eggman. Yeah, well, this trailer was amazing. I'm so hyped for this. So I'm gonna keep going.
There's been a high-level security breach.
All right, so we got Shadow busting out now.
Project Shadow, and we need Team Sonic's immediate.
We need Team Sonic's immediate assistance. So, like, what I didn't notice the first time around, they're using rings to deploy them. I mean, that's obvious thing. So, like, Sonic has all these rings now. I don't know where he's getting more from. Or maybe he's collecting them once he uses them. I remember it was a huge plot point in the first movie that he had only so many rings to jump around and teleport to other planets. But now he's just flinging them out like it's nothing. So maybe now, like, he can reuse those rings as long as they're on Earth, or they collect them or something like that. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe Knuckles knows a way to get more. I don't know. But it shows that they're deploying them through those rings. Number 2, Sonic and Team seem like they are now heroes now that are, like, deployed for certain engagements. It reminds me of Transformers a lot, actually. When Optimus Prime is all good, then they just went ahead and deployed them anywhere, anytime like other Transformers like popped up. So it's like, this is a Transformers level threat. So I think this is similar to what's going on here.
Sonic's immediate assistance.
And you have Tails flying the helicopter. Give Tails the tornado, bruv. Where? I think by the end of this movie, I need Tails to have at least the cyclone or the tornado too. But yeah, I guess this is fitting.
Project Shadow is far beyond anything
Shadow, okay.
we've ever encountered.
Shadow has so much detail. So much detail that when he's put next to Sonic, it's almost humiliating. But I'll get to that in a minute. Clearly, they wanted him to stand out and shine, which is great. What a glow up for this model. I mean, considering the end credits was kind of like a restructured Sonic, so I'm glad that they spent time getting this right. I think this looks amazing. That's just my point here. The glowing eyes is a good touch, just like Sonic when he gets all powered up. Now, the difference here, well, okay, I'll leave that to the end. But I love the, like, all the shine and the more rigid fur and the kicks. Come on now.
Anything we've ever encountered.
Shadow's story began a lot like your Sonic. But where you found
all right, so we do have we have confirmed Maria.
Your Sonic.
For some, okay, so it's a meme. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I'm not like a fan of the idea that, oh, she's gonna get shot and it's gonna be a PG movie where we've seen freaking Mufasa fall from a cliff while his son is screaming in the background in a PG movie, and you're worried about this little girl getting shot. I mean, we've seen some horrid deaths. We saw Littlefoot's mother die in a huge, what was it, a meteor shower? I can't remember. There were so many like heart-clenching Disney deaths in the past that this just doesn't, I don't understand why this is a huge meme. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me. But of course, Sonic fans are going to be in there cheering when she dies. And it's so like, it's such a stupid thing. It's so stupid. But at the same time, whatever. Go have your fun. Have your meme. I just don't understand the meme here. It's like, we're definitely shooting 14-year-olds in this. It's such a weird meme. But I thought she died from, oh yes, Littlefoot's mother died from a T-Rex, which is even more gruesome than getting shot. She's getting bit up, saving her son. I'm tired of seeing all these. Those scenes used to traumatize me. Now Maria getting shot like by a stray, catching it. Well, not really a stray. It's like, I love how Sonic X did it, where the gun soldier was freaked out by her hand being on the console that he just instinctively shot because he didn't know what she was doing. I love that rather than just some guy coming in and just exterminating the whole place. But at the same time, I don't know. What do you guys prefer? I don't know if she's going to go out this way though. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Honestly, turning to stone and falling into pieces is more horrific than stabbing. Who died like that again? That sounds familiar. I don't remember who did that. Remind me who did that.
But where you found family and friends. Shadow.
Okay, so I like this scene.
Family.
Not much to say here. This is like their peak looks here. Tails looks amazing. I think all of them are gonna have these glowing eyes. I saw a theory where each of their powers are gonna be related to the Chaos Emeralds, and then at some point it's gonna be 7 people from Sonic's world, or like 7 aliens. So if you guys know, like they all come from different worlds essentially. Not everyone. I think Sonic and Knuckles are from the same world, but Tails is from a different planet in this lore. The movie lore is very weird. It's like very scattered. It's such a mixture of the games and like the comics, but now it's become its own thing. So I'm gonna let you know whether I like this or not. But yeah, they're not all from the same planet, which is not really my thing. But there's a theory going around that each of them have a corresponding chaos power that goes along with them. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore, like considering the lore from Sonic 2, but we'll see. But they're all very special people with that same power. So does it mean there's just a ton of aliens out there that just, well, they do. Okay, so they do reference Earth as like a backwater planet. That's what Tails calls it. So I want them to go to space, man. Like go visit. There's so many other planets you can explore. So much more potential with this universe. Just my opinion here. I'm pretty sure the stone transformation is the Gnome King from Return to Oz. I did not see that movie. Maybe that's what they're referencing. All right, let me continue. How many Sonic universes are there? There's several at this point. But if you want to talk about like the active ones right now, you have the game ones. You have Sonic Prime, which I think is deactivated now. Nobody really talks about that one anymore. Now that the show's over. There's Sonic Boom, which is that show's over now too. You have the comics, which has now been fused with the game world. So the game and the comics are one and the same, but no game has like really solidified that as of yet. But they did reference comic book characters in Sonic Frontiers at the very end. So I think they're getting there. I think they're trying to figure out how to sort that out. So those two I think are one and the same. And then you have the movies. Of course you have the old cartoons, but I'm not gonna get into that. There's way too many. There's way too much.
Friends.
Anyway, peak models right there. That little shot right here. I think this is when the three of them look their best. Come on now. Right here. I think this is great. The colors really stand out. Great choice in just being in the green background. The green is such a good contrast with the three of them. And I think this is the best that they've looked. Sonic looks a little bit iffy later on, and I'll show you that.
Shadow found only pain and loss.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose.
All right, so we have Maria. This looks like Gerald and Shadow. This is definitely a dead Maria with gun soldiers approaching. So it looks like she was taken out in an explosion. Maybe. It's just a little strange that they're sitting there. Looks like they're praying over her, but maybe they're just mourning. Maybe it's just like it just happened just in this moment. So I don't know if they're going to retaliate, how they're going to, how do these gun soldiers capture Shadow? I'm curious how they're going to change the lore, but this is a little bit, this looks like a little bit of a change. Are we going to get the space colony arc at all? Because I haven't seen it referenced in this trailer whatsoever. That's what I'm curious about. Has the arc been cut? That's a heavy cut if that's the case.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with a giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
All right, so I'm going to let this part run, and then I'm going to go back. So let's start here.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
Interesting intro for Shadow.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
No, no.
And now he proceeds to body everybody. This is... I mean, we knew this was going to happen.
Can we just talk about this?
Okay, so that scene is spectacular. I kind of wish it was just him and Sonic one-on-one. But I guess it's meant to reference the whole scale of his power, which is okay. I don't know. I would have loved like a standoff similar to the game, but I think we're going to get that. But this is probably first meeting. We all knew Sonic was going to get bodied in some type of way. Now, his model looks spectacular all throughout. I think every shot of Shadow looks really good. Him walking up like this, the shoes, the lighting, the flames, everything looks great to me. And it makes these three kind of look weak. I feel like they put in all the effort into Shadow in this scene and kind of dimmed down Sonic's model a little bit.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
And then I didn't like the joke here, but whatever, it's fine. They get bodied after.
I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
No. No.
Now, this is great. That's like pretty much one-to-one with the game. He starts using Chaos Control. Now, is he doing it without a Chaos Emerald? That's another thing. I doubt he is, actually. So it looks like his powers are going to be baked in like the rest of the group.
My turn.
I love how he teleports in to go body Tails first. And I love that. Ow! It's amazing. That's.
Can we just...
Could I see that one more time?
My turn. Can we just talk about this?
Oh man, that's funny. Sonic's like, my turn. He's like, nah, Tails first. Someone asked me, let's see, I see people complain, Digital Dog, welcome. I see people complain that Amy or Rouge should be in the movie to make it better. Do you believe that too? I think, so here's my thing. You have to make a Sonic movie for the fans, right? But can the fans 100% hold this up? I think every Sonic fan out here is gonna watch this and support it. But you cannot, I think they don't want to overwhelm it with a certain amount of characters. And I think being in the human world is what's stopping them from doing that. This wouldn't have been an issue if they went back to the original world or Sonic's planet and they start introducing more characters there, because then now you have the focus on them. But they have all these actors that they're paying for this movie and they have to give them their face time. Much like any like superhero movie where they like, you see Spider-Man land and take off his mask to show it's Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland or whoever. They do that because the actor needs his face in the movie, and which, you know, like it's not a necessity. I feel like it's a marketing thing. But similar to that, you have all these players that are in here and all these original characters. So if you brought in a Rouge, how would you write that in at this point? Or if you brought in an Amy, what purpose would Amy serve if she's not introduced already? So, and then that could overshadow Shadow would overshadow Amy, much like Knuckles overshadowed Tails in the last movie, in my opinion. I think Tails got screen time, but not enough. Not enough character development. I was hoping that maybe Tails will be able to kind of like claim some time here, but I doubt it. So that's going to be the problem. So if you introduce Amy or Rouge, what would they do? And how would you bring them in? You introduce this plot point and that they're aliens and they're not like people in a different world or whatever. That's the issue I think is there. So do I agree with whether or not Amy or Rouge should have been in it? I think they should. I think at least Rouge should have been. But I have like loyalty to Amy for being like a classic character and being there from back in the day, where it's hard for me to say one or the other. I think it should be one at least. Now, I'm not ruling it out 100%, but bruv, it doesn't look like they're anywhere near this movie right now. So that's my honest opinion. Paramount will probably give them each their own series. Yeah, like I've already heard that they're trying to do a Tails thing. I don't know if they dropped that. They're definitely going to do a Shadow series. I've heard that as much. Thank you, Tails, for the subscription. See, it's like I'm supporting Tails and he subscribes to me. I think the issue with that is that if you're going to do side plots, much like Knuckles, then people are not going to be convinced to watch Shadow. If it's Shadow trying to figure out himself on Earth, it has to be like relevant to like the Sonic universe as a whole or Sonic games. So yeah, when you're preaching to like a general audience, it's going to be harder to introduce them into like core Sonic things. Trust me. And I think what Jeff Fowler is trying to do is balance that without tipping the scales too much in one direction. And I think that's a hard job to do, to be honest, if you're writing this. But they could have leaned into it a little bit more. I see the Mario movie and there's no limits to what they did there. They pigeonholed them into the human world, which is why I think there's a lot of issues here. So either the human world needs to be one and the same with like creatures that are running around, or you have a ton of aliens that are invading, much like Transformers. In every movie, you just take it with a stride and say, hey, here's some new ones. Have at it. But yeah, I think they're being very restrictive with new characters that come in. And that's just my opinion. Dr. Claw saying, love your work. Thank you so much. I know it's been a while since I've like been in front of the camera, man. I'm so like, I want to do more of these streams with you guys. And I'm just so busy and just getting out content is hard, but here I am. All right, let's continue.
He's too powerful.
That's a great shot. Now everybody's talking about this scene where Tom is screaming and people are wondering if they're going to kill off Tom or if Shadow's going to kill off Tom. They're not going to have Shadow kill off Tom, bro. He might die from like some, if he dies in this movie and they're brave enough to do it, it's going to be for some other reason. But if Shadow were to kill Tom, there'd be no going back for Shadow, in my opinion. They would have to cut that whole like spin-off series, or he would have to commit to being a full-time villain, which is not Shadow. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm seeing these murmurs on Twitter. That's not gonna happen, bruv. But is he safe? I'm pretty sure he is. But maybe at the end, they finally go back to their original world. I don't think they have the balls to kill off Tom. If they do, and they do it in the right way, props to this team, but that's not gonna happen. People are overthinking some of this stuff. Great shot of Shadow there. Now, he punches a black hole into, so this, I think this is like his supreme power. So much like Knuckles has the flame of disaster, I think Shadow has this like black void thing. I don't know if there's a similar power in the actual games. Like the chaos powers are a little bit different from this. Maybe this is a reference to Shadow the Hedgehog and I don't remember. But it looks like it punches a hole through time and space and it starts sucking things in, which is ridiculous upgrade to my dog Shadow here. I don't know where they are in this scene. It looks like they're in some type of dome, but this does not look like the Space Colony arc. Maybe this is on Prison Island or something. Black Doom, is a power in this universe? Maybe. Do you guys think so? If they make, I'll get to that at the end, actually. I'll save it for the end.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need you-know-who.
This is a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped me?
Yes, sir. That belly is in. Finally. I don't know if he's like full Eggman yet, to be honest. I thought he would go full Eggman in this trailer. But do you guys think this is a full fat? Could we get an even fatter suit? Can we get a full Eggman? I'm curious. But it's interesting that Eggman did not, well, we know he didn't die in the last movie, but he's come back and now he's gone full Thor from Endgame and is depressed. I wonder if they're like really gonna lean into this. I wonder how they convince him to join them.
Doctor,
We have visitors.
this is sad, Robotnik. Even for you.
We need your help.
On one condition.
I like this vibe though. To be honest, I love Jim Carrey's interpretation of Eggman 100%. I didn't expect it to ever be one-to-one, but the way he's grown into the character, I want you guys to go back to the first movie and see how much this character has evolved just by watching this trailer. But from 1 to 2, and then this, it's amazing. Wow, Jim Carrey, you are a treasure. I love this. But we need a fatter suit for sure, which means maybe he is open to another movie where he goes full fat. We'll see.
Do this! If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it.
I wonder why the mustache didn't even grow out further.
I need room.
But, sir, I don't have the proper materials.
You know what's cool, actually? This looks like one of those little egg capsules that Eggman has in Sonic Frontiers, where he has like a little living place on the Starfall Island. So you see them kind of littered about, which shows that he set up like a ton of little camps. I'm not going to play this whole part again, but I just want to show you this.
This is a bad.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need you.
Oh, it's more of like an egg walker. Like it's like a crab thing. So I guess it's underground, underwater. So this is like a crab, egg crab or something. Crab, egg. What else would it be called? But egg crab, but let's say that. But I guess he's been hiding out underwater and then he surfaces. And the only person that knows he's down there is Agent Stone. And so that's probably why they find Agent Stone and then he summons Eggman from underneath the water because he's aware that he's still alive. So they're in some type of submarine at this point.
One condition.
Yeah, the Frieza ships. That's the thing. That's the Frieza ships. Why did I think of this? Cerulean. Thank you for that. Yeah, I was a little bit wrong, but it kind of reminds me of that. The way it was coming out the water here. Oh wait, no, this is still a Frieza ship. There you go. Yes. So this reminds me of the thing from Frontiers. He has little camps that he can set up, and that's probably where they're going to be hiding out in between scenes. All right, we're almost at the end.
I might as well save it! I need room.
But, sir, I don't have the proper materials.
Found some.
All right, so we're confirmed for December. A lot of people were complaining on Twitter that December wasn't going to be a thing. They're going to delay it. What's the marketing? The marketing's been flubbed. I don't know if you guys are... I feel less and less relevant on Twitter these days. It's pretty wild. I feel like I missed my opportunity to get popular over there. If you're on Twitter, give me a follow. Because I feel pathetic over there sometimes.
When we're done, there won't be anything left.
Hey, no cheat code.
So we got Shadow on the bike, of course, reference to Shadow the Hedgehog.
There won't be anything left.
What do you guys think of Keanu's voice here? I actually think it fits. I think he actually did better than I thought he would. I just hope he doesn't phone it in. Like, the lines that they have in the trailer are really good. Keanu's not one to phone it in sometimes, but sometimes his lines in Cyberpunk got a little samey, and he's doing the Johnny Silverhands voice here, but sort of. I think it's a decent fit, but we'll see. Shadow on the bike, though, great reference.
Hey, no cheat code. What did you do?
All right, we got to stop there for a sec because we got the Chow Garden. So the Chow Garden seems to be, I guess most of this is taking place in Tokyo, which I guess that's a great change of pace, especially like going back to where the Sonic character was created. It probably wasn't Tokyo. It doesn't have to be Tokyo, but it was Japan. So it looks like they're having a meeting with the gun agent at what's called the Chow Garden, which seems to be a mascot park over there, or some type of cute little cafe. Now that means that the Chow do not exist as an actual race in this movie universe, or maybe they were inspired by a single Chow that's in that was found in the human world or something. We don't know this for a fact. I'm just speculating, but it looks like this is where Chow are going to stay. Now, a lot of people are complaining about this. They're saying that Chow are so important in the world of Sonic. They got reduced to Five Nights at Freddy's characters over here. I would say let's not speak too soon. Maybe this is an inspiration from characters that already exist. I believe maybe Chow are referenced in that in-between comic between the Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. I don't want to say that for certain, but there's a whole universe out there. They can do whatever. If Chow really need to be in this universe, they'll make it happen because the universe is pretty expansive. They show that like there's so many planets out there. Zombie Souffle say I'm just happy they're there. Speaking of cheese, the Chow I want Cream, the rabbit, to be in Sonic Movie 4. Oh, there was like way too many commas in that. Okay, so I don't know if we're gonna get Cream anytime soon, man. The characters are leaking in pretty slowly as it stands, but this is a reference to cheese in the middle, and then these two are just like the sombrero hat is the maracas one from the Chow Garden, which I think is a good touch, and this is just another like type of Chow you can mutate. It looks like Eggman or somebody is going to attack them, which is a bit of a spoiler here if you're looking at these. So this can be Gun because the Gun Soldier is there. I don't think Shadow would use missiles. So who do you think is throwing missiles at them while they're meeting at the Chow Garden? Anyway, nice touch, nice cameo. I can't wait to see this scene. I think it beats the whole biker bar scene that was in the first one. At least if we're gonna do like a little funny scene like this, make it thematic. And so it looks like Chow Garden is gonna be a thing, and Japan's like the perfect place to have that setting.
What did you do?
What I had to. I had to.
What did you do?
What I had to.
I feel like that's a throwaway line. Some people are like, oh, he definitely killed Tom, but I don't think Sonic would react that way. So just throwing that out there. Great scene. So I think that is probably going to be their second fight there, or maybe it's their part of their first fight, the end of it, where Sonic just like gets bodied. But I think that's a great segue into the title. They didn't do the Sonic Adventure 2 Moon thing, unfortunately. So, but there you have it, guys. Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Welcome home, my boy.
It's impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
Are you? In the saggy flesh.
Now, Eggman says Pop Pop. Is this going to be his father or his grandfather? I think they're going to go with father. And the area that they're in seems to be some type of lab that's long since been abandoned. Now, it's interesting that he is alive. So this is the plot point that I think kind of bothers me the most. And I'll be honest with you guys about this. So it doesn't matter if this is his father or grandfather. In the Sonic lore, this is his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik. Now, if you want to do ages and like add that up, probably makes sense that it's his father. Now, if this is an abandoned lab somewhere, maybe this is where Shadow was. Eggman has to go back there at some point. Now, I think that these two are going to be the major villains, along with Shadow being used against them. We all know that Eggman is going to betray Team Sonic for sure. Like, everyone's aware of this. If this doesn't happen, it's gonna totally shock me. But I think he's gonna meet his dad, and then together they're gonna be like, "Hey, we need to get revenge on these people because they did this and they killed your cousin Maria and yada yada yada." Now, why is he alive? I don't know. This is an interesting twist for me. But they will probably work together with Shadow, and that's probably going to be the end game set of villains. Now, there's a great opportunity here for Sonic to face Shadow, Tails to take on Eggman, and one of his major robots to be a... Oh, we got a donation. Big Boss coming through with the $1 donation. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for always coming through. But my theory is that these three are going to work together. And now you have 3 enemies that 3 members of Sonic Team can take on. This, unfortunately, I think is going to be your Team Dark. Unfortunately, whatever you guys think of that. Tails might take on Eggman's robot, and then Knuckles might take on Gerald's robot, or however that's going to work. And then Sonic takes on Shadow at the end, and then he's reformed, and they have to come together and help stop these two. That's my theory on this. It's a very vague theory. I'm like 70% on that, but this is definitely a big twist for me. Now, the second thing is, it doesn't seem like Gerald created Shadow in this universe. If we go back to here, where Sonic references it as some type of alien on the loose, he says there's an alien on the loose.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
So it looks like Shadow came from a different planet. Now, that could be a setup for him being part of the Black Doom race of aliens. Or maybe they created him, and so they're going to go all out with that plot line, and then Gerald somehow found him. I would prefer the creation. You're created as the ultimate life form, but I feel like they're going to find him and see how his healing, regenerative properties were something that he wanted to use to save Maria from her disease. So maybe they're going to go that route instead. That's kind of my guess here. But I think that is pretty much every plot point that's in here, unless I missed something.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
But I think this is going to be the biggest deviance here for the plot line between this and Sonic Adventure 2.
Saggy flesh.
But overall, we get this in December 2024. I want to hear theories in the chat. Maybe Amy is created from Maria. I think that's going to be quite the stretch. I don't know if we're creating aliens yet. If they create Shadow, then maybe. It's Jolo. Welcome to the stream. I want Amy to be in it. I think like there's probably going to be an Amy cameo at the end. I would really love for this to be the capping of where Sonic is on Earth. I think all of them finally need to just go off on an adventure together. Whatever comes out of this adventure, they realize that the universe needs their help, and maybe they go home. But then again, Green Hills feels like his home, so I don't know if they'll go with that plot line. They said there's going to be more movies after this, of course, and more spin-offs and all that stuff. And I think the reason why they take place on Earth is to save them costs for like animation overall. But I think these movies are starting to get costly for them. So I feel like if you just transfer from this into a fully animated universe in whatever space world at this point in time, that'd probably be a great like soft reboot for this series. Because I think people expected this to be like a cap for a trilogy, but that's my opinion. He's playing both Ivo and Gerald. Yes, so also, this is also Jim Carrey. I forgot to put this out. I thought this was obvious enough, but I didn't mention it earlier. Tails should have been put halfway into the first movie. I think so too, but I think they just wanted to establish it for general audiences. There was enough scrutiny with that movie as it stood. So imagine like redoing Sonic and Tails by the end. Well, they probably had to. I don't know what the original Tails model looked like. I heard that was a last minute decision after they restructured. Did I say Mario earlier? Sonic's face. After they restructured Sonic's face. So having Sonic and Tails probably was a lot for them in the first movie. Which actor is playing Gerald? Oh, somebody asked that. Gerald definitely created Shadow, because at the end of the second movie, Project Shadow was in Robotnik's files. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it was a creation. I think Project Shadow was probably a project where he found an alien and he tried to use his regenerative properties or like his ultimate power to help people. And then things like the game go south. Now, the biggest thing here is I think there's going to be no Space Colony arc. I would want the Space Colony arc over Amy or Rouge or anybody. Like, that needs to be there. And are we getting the Bio Lizard? And also in the background, they're playing Live and Learn. But is this the only version that we're going to get? I really want the original unadulterated Live and Learn in my movie. Please make this happen. I hope it's happening. I hope Crush 40 and their vocals remain. Just let it ride, man. People will love that shit. It needs to happen. They need to stop doing this thing where they're changing everything.
Welcome home, my boy.
So I think that's about it. I wanted to take a look at his badge and see like what this says, but it's blurred out, so I can't get much more from this. But overall, I think for the trailer, for what I expected, I think it doesn't give away a lot. Some people said it showed a lot, which if you're not a Sonic fan, you would probably think it showed a lot, but I don't think it showed a lot. I think this is obvious things that we know. Project Shadow's a thing. He breaks out. He loses Maria. I think maybe the death scene was probably a little much. Maybe they didn't have to show that. But then them going to Tokyo, they get bodied. Then they have to work with Eggman. Okay, maybe that's a lot too. Like, we could cut out that plot point. This probably would have been a bigger twist for people than anything else. Because if you're comparing it to Sonic Adventure 2, this team never worked with Eggman until the very end. So it's not a huge surprise, but they had to show him in some type of way. And this is probably the first appearance of Jim Carrey in this. But so how else do you introduce him in the trailer? So they probably had to go with that route. They couldn't avoid it. And then outside of that, like, you see like a couple shots of him on the bike and stuff. So I think that there's a lot more to this film than people actually realize. Maybe they did show a lot, but this definitely got people hype. So I'm fully on board with this film. I will be watching. I hope you guys will be watching too. And then we'll do a video together and talk about how great it was. Did you know the Japanese name is Sonic Shadow Tokyo Mission? Yeah, I know. Like, movie names, movie titles are so odd to me in Japan. Like, I'm wondering, like, Sonic and Shadow Tokyo Mission. I don't know, like not Japanese films, but like movies that go over from here to Japan are like so specific sometimes with their titling. And I know they do it on purpose. They probably have like marketers out there that understand it more than I do. But why not just Sonic 3? I don't know. Maybe they're not about maybe each movie needs an individual title to satisfy them. They can't just have like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It needs to, like, what are the stakes? What are the subtitle here? You know what I mean? Remember when people were angry with the Mario movie with Peach being a girl boss? I can see those same people getting mad at the Sonic movies for not having any female Sonic characters. The same people? Well, I don't know if I don't know which crowd is which, but I remember the girl boss people who were upset with Peach. My thing with Peach is that it was like a total character shift. I don't disagree with the girl boss thing because she is definitely somebody who's shown to be capable. Man, but I watched that movie and she was like overshadowing Mario in a couple of scenes. I'm like, damn, this is great, but I need some Mario action. And then I finally got it at the end. So I think much like this universe, the Mario cinematic universe, personalities are going to be very different. So they did change Mario's personality quite a bit. Luigi is like the only one that stayed intact. I think Bowser was pretty much on point in the grand scheme of things. But Peach's change in character is probably the most jarring to people. But honestly, Mario had a huge change too. Like you have Chris Pratt voicing Mario. So I never really understood the complaints where people were like going to Twitter like, I can't believe this. Mario has gone woke too. I cannot believe this. Every female character has to be this way in movies now. I don't understand what's going on with my world. This is terrible. So I don't know. Like I thought the movie was great. All right. So the last thing I wanted to do, I'm just making this stream short and sweet since we're done with this one. There was like some Sonic Generation Doom Powers trailer, and I'm wondering if this is going to be incorporated into the movie somehow. These are new powers for Shadow. So I want to take a look at these because I didn't watch this trailer 100%. I'm wondering if this is being incorporated into the movie somehow. So let me check this out real quick. This is one I can play without worrying about getting copyright struck, but I'm probably already copyright struck for whatever VOD comes out of this. But let's try this out. So this is a game coming out, in the next month? This is going to be October, I think. So you're getting Sonic Generations Remastered plus a Shadow section, which at first I was worried was going to be like three different levels just with Shadow added, but it looks like there's a lot going on here. I'm definitely going to invest in this. I don't know if this is something I want to stream, but let's take a look at this really quickly. So this is going to introduce some new powers for Shadow on top of like brand new levels that are going to be tacked onto the Sonic Generations game.
Calls to me. We meet again, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Black Doom?
Struggle all you want. You cannot deny your fate.
I love the remix in the back. This is pretty awesome, by the way, too. This is kind of like some reskinning from Sonic Frontiers, I think, but I'm cool with this. Doom Spears. So instead of Chaos Spears, you have Doom Spears. And I guess this like leans into Shadow's latent alien abilities. If you guys know, like Black Doom is an alien that existed from long beyond, and he's evil. And then he helps Gerald create Shadow by injecting Black Doom DNA into the project, which finalizes everything and makes him complete the project. Now, this was introduced in 2006 as a different plot point for Shadow the Hedgehog, which at the time I didn't like, but now, I'm warming up to it. I'm warming up to it because I was a 16-year-old at the time. Now that I'm an old fuck, it doesn't bother me as much. I think it's cool. It's fine. And they're like really leaning into that piece of the lore. So I honestly, I really love this idea. So not only do you have your Chaos powers and you can utilize the Chaos Emeralds, you have Doom powers, your latent alien abilities that were put inside you by Black Doom. Don't take that out of context, actually. All right, so we have the Doom Spears, which this looks a lot like what's going on in the movie trailer, by the way. I thought this was pretty cool, though I haven't seen this yet. Great Supporting Me remix going on in the background. One of my favorite songs from Sonic Adventure 2. So you have the Doom Blast as well, which is just a destructive combo. Look at his facial expressions. It's amazing. This reminds me of a different... Oh, okay. I think this is similar to like Sonic Frontiers movements. That little parry that he has where he freezes in air and then he can target it. So I think they repurposed a lot of that for this, which is fine. Then you have the Doom Morph, where you can become an alien. I hope this is not canon, because that's pretty gross to me. Shadow can become a huge tentacly monster. All right, the Doomwing I think is the coolest part though. Like, I think that's really dope. Now, whether this would be a one-time thing or for future Shadow interactions in games in the future, it's yet to be seen. That thing's gonna be janky as fuck. Doom Surf? Oh, it's like that Mario Galaxy surfing game. Remember that one? And then Metal Overlord, of course, that's gonna be there like as your Metal Sonic boss, which I think is pretty interesting. So like another Sonic Heroes reference. I think this is an underrated boss. So I'm glad to see it's back. Can Shadow reproduce asexually at this point? I wouldn't be surprised. But your boy got all of this stuff. I got the pre-order edition. Normally I don't pre-order, just to point that out there. But I think my biggest thing that I really liked about this was the Gerald Robotnik's journal detailing Shadow's creation, because we get a little bit of background on. We hear about Robotnik's journals a lot, Gerald Robotnik's journals a lot in like Sonic Adventure 2 maybe, and Sonic Battle, which is, if you guys haven't played that game, it definitely needs a remake in the worst way, because that's like one of the best Sonic fighting games, and now it's like a little bit outdated, but it's got so much lore. And if I gotta read this to get more lore to update my Shadow videos, then we have to do this. But I have this pre-ordered, and I want this legacy skin. So your boy, the way I'm gonna play this is all throughout Sonic generations, and then I'll hop over to Shadow if you're curious. Whether I do it on stream is yet to be seen. We'll find out if I have time, because Bent October is gonna be stacked this year. We're covering Metroid, baby. So it's gonna be a long October for me. Last thing I wanted to see on stream, we have Sonic Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings teaser, which covers the backstory of Shadow in anime form. And I think all these animated shorts are getting to be so good. It's so ridiculously good. What a good idea. Like, they've been doing this in Sonic Mania Adventures, and it's just drips with style. We just need a whole show like this. Why did we get Sonic Prime when we can get something like this? And it's so gorgeous, and I'm just gonna press play. Am I missing any questions? Let's see. Just Eldritch beings casually making ultimate powered hedgehogs. Like, yeah, right? Exactly. So I hope we get some of that lore in the movie too. Just ruin everything for everybody. Sup, Mentalk. And to the 17% people who said this trailer is mid, I'm just gonna assume that your personality is equivalent of white bread. Thank you, Aerodynamics. Thanks for coming through. Welcome. Yeah, so I'm gonna cover this and then get out of here, because I want this to be short and sweet. So, Sonic Generations.
Professor Gerald made me the ultimate life form. I should be the key to all manner of medicines, curing you.
So the curing part is solidified here. This is something that's been established in Shadow lore from beginnings, but I think like it wasn't clear in Sonic Adventure 2. You had to like read between the lines and in the manual, and you find out that Maria has a condition called NIDS. It's not AIDS, it's like NIDS or something. It's something close to that. So she has this disease that's incurable, and with the funding of Gun, Gerald is creating Shadow to help find a life form that's able to regenerate and surpass or overcome that type of disease. And he's going to take that DNA and use it to help cure Maria. And this establishes a relationship between the two. So this is what this is referencing here. I'm sure everybody knew this in the stream, but whatever, just in case.
I should be the key to all manner of medicines, curing you.
Look at her carrying that dice low, carrying that NIDS. That's shame. No, just kidding. NIDS ridden. NIDS ridden.
You and Grandfather are doing your best. I'm just as happy to spend time with you here while you both research.
Yeah, I think money and budget is the reason too. They probably have to like take out like, so this is probably a part of their marketing budget for the game that they're coming out with. So anytime that they have a new game and they make like a little anime trailer for it, that comes directly out of their marketing budget, I'm sure. So they need to justify it. Just business talk. It needs to be a business justification. So marketing for our new game, then they'll put this out. But if you had a whole TV show, it's not, unless you have toys or whatever, it's hard to get funding or have like that parent company approved for these things. So many good cartoons got canceled because they didn't fund the toys properly. So here we have Emerald, who is established in Sonic Battle. The game that for the Game Boy Advance that I told you guys, a fighting game that has so much lore in it. I don't understand how they got away with doing that. I need to like really do a deep dive into that game because so much cool stuff in there. And so Emerald is from another civilization. He's called a Gizoid from some other civilization from thousands of years ago who created these ultimate robots, and Gerald got his hands on this one and was doing experiments on it. So we find out in Sonic Battle at some point he got out and ran amok on the space colony Ark. So what this animation is doing is trying to tie those two plot lines together, and apparently these two have met before with this new retcon, which people enjoy the idea of. I just love the colors on all this.
Shadow, you have to save him.
This looks like their best. And also, this is a teaser, so the full animation is coming out at some point.
I'll handle this. Just wait here. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I promise. I'm like okay with Shadow's voice actor. I really think like maybe it's my nostalgia thinking, but David Humphrey, the original Shadow voice actor, still has like this sad but like strong voice to him that I think Keanu is kind of carrying, which I think is cool. Something about this voice actor just it's a little too broody for me. Kirk Thornton, I think is his name. I think he's doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. Like these voice actors put their heart into it. So he's finally getting some material to work with. After all these years, he hasn't really had a chance to like really flex. So this is his opportunity. So I'm curious to see how this comes out. It's not terrible, by the way. So that actually looks like the scene straight from the movie. I don't know if these teams work together on some of these things, but like some of these shots are very similar. Now this is peak. And that's where they cut it, damn it. I want to see the full fight. How are you gonna come in DBZ style? This looks like some shit from... This looks like a One Piece scene. This looks like a Jujutsu Kaisen scene. I hope that it continues and it's still like of this quality. Like the fight continues. I hope it doesn't stop there because that would freaking annoy me. But I love the cinematography here. The camera, like this is the most replayed part anyway, or is it this part? I think it's this part here. I guess everybody like watches it from here, but just one last time. Like the looks. Just I love shit like this. Like the quick looks. You see him holding Gerald. Gerald gives the look, sees Shadow. He looks over in response. One's glowing red with shadow eyes, the other's blue with this whatever. Straight through. Boom. Clap, clap, kick. The shockwave takes a second. There's an impact scene. Look at that, bro. Come on now. There's an impact frame right there. If you guys don't know about impact frames, they're so badass. Sometimes like they get so so elaborate. There's like sometimes people will write text here or they'll put like a different design, but it flashes so quickly you don't even notice. I think people like compiled these for different anime across the board, but I love this. You don't even see their silhouettes anymore, but this does enough contrast to your eyes to make the impact feel real. And I'm so glad that they started doing this for shit like this. This is awesome. That's another benefit of having short animations, consistent quality. We saw how Sonic X turned out in some episodes. I totally agree with you there. This is why people are like advocating for a lot of seasonal anime versus like a long style anime like One Piece, which I think is like the last of its kind right now, but it's One Piece, so there's no other reason. They're even doing a seasonal One Piece to combat the long weekly style of One Piece called The One Piece. So we'll see how that works out. But I agree with you. I think like if we had these once every blue moon for a game, you're getting higher quality at the end of the day. The fact that they had to release a trailer for this is pretty interesting. But that's all I got for you guys today. I think like I'll start doing smaller mini streams like this. I want to do like research streams because I'm having less time to actually sit down and like go through information to create the videos that you guys have been seeing. That's why like the pace has been slowing down, but I will have more time to work on them like in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing like 8-hour days working on content leading into Mint October. So I didn't want to spill all the beans, but that's what's going on right now. So I'm trying to catch up with all of that. But I would love to do, once I'm stabilized with content, I would love to do streams where I'm just diving into some of the content, show you guys my research process. A lot of the times, I'll be honest, it starts with the fan wikis or Wikipedia. But like, let's say I went to like Paper Mario, for instance, I'll probably be like a lot less interactive with the chat, but I'll be taking notes and doing stuff, and I'll like just make it a vibe. We'll hop into like little articles like this. You guys can see this live. I guess it's not spoiling a lot for people because if it's like 20 to 30 people watching me, I don't mind reading through all this and just kind of going through this information and learning alongside you guys. I think that would make for a great little activity, and I don't have to worry about leaving you guys high and dry for so long. So I'll start incorporating that a little bit more to my videos. I don't know which one will be the start for that, but you guys can see the research process. And then like it goes beyond Wikipedia, by the way. I just use it as a jump off point. Once you start getting into these interviews and all this other stuff, that's when shit gets really cool. And you guys get to see the process of the things that I'll keep and that take out of videos, because I can't say everything. It could be an hour-long video, but I don't know, for my format, like I try to keep it, pretty succinct. But yeah, that's, you guys will get a behind the scenes look. I don't know when I'm going to start doing it, but I will start doing it soon. So thank you guys for joining. That was the reaction. I'll probably like cut this down and repost it on the channel or something, but love you guys. I know this was a short one, but tell me what you think. Let me know if you want more short content like this in research streams. Thank you, Phoenix Gundam, Ethereal Dragon, Tails Chaos, Cerulean. I'm ready for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, bruv. I'll see everybody this December at the movie theater. We out. Peace.